everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar. We are back after a long time. So, welcome everyone. We are really excited about having you, all of us, join us. As you're joining in, do let us know where in the world you're joining us from. And remember to select everyone when you're typing a comment or a question in the chat box so that everyone, including the panelists, can see what you are questioning or your thoughts. Yeah, let us know in the comments what you're expecting from today's webinar. Now, some of you would know, but today's webinar is about from mandate to mindset and how coaching approaches can be implemented to the return to office change. So we will explore this shift in today's webinar and how coaching can help leaders and teams navigate the return to office journey with openness, empathy, and collaboration. But before we delve into the webinar, I would like to invite you all to check out our upcoming programs. Now, whether you're just starting out in your coaching journey or you're looking to scale up, there is something for everyone at Coacharya. We have an upcoming ICF Level 1 Life and Leadership Coaching Program with 3 trainers, which is being led by Tracy Brown, Coacharya CEO and co-founder Pranav Ramanathan, and Richa Chadha. We have an ACTC program on the anvil with trainers Ram Ramanathan, Cindy Muthukarpan, and Pranav Ramanathan. We also have an upcoming program focused on relational coaching that will be led by trainers Komal Smriti and Madhulika Tyagi. Now, all of this information I will also put in the chat box, but you're also welcome to check our website, our program calendar. All of these programs and more are all updated there. So you can check it out and you can register in your own time. Our panelists today for the webinar are, so welcome Andy. Andy is one of our panelists today. He's a
Thank you.
leadership coach and a consultant. Andy also has extensive experience working in the leadership space, and now he runs his own consulting firm. Our second panelist today is Piyush Joshi. Welcome, Piyush.
Hello.
He's the head of Global Business Service Center India at Bros India Automotive Systems Private Limited. He also has extensive experience working in the leadership space, and he has joined us today to share his insights about the return to office change. Now, today's webinar will be facilitated by Smita. Welcome, Smita. She's a leadership trainer, facilitator, and she's also a PCC and an ACTC coach. She also designs and leads leadership development programs, and she is the director of sales and administration at Coacharya. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. I look forward to this discussion. With that, Smita, over to you.
Thank you, Yamini. Thank you, Andy and Piyush. Thank you for coming, for this webinar and for
Thank you.
such a pertinent topic that we've selected, which I think needs attention. And I'm sure many organizations are managing the challenges with the return to office. So welcome audience, participants, very thankful and grateful for you to be with us. I hope by the end of this webinar, you will walk away for something as a perspective from this webinar. So with this topic of mandate to mindset, right, COVID-19 was that time where, it fundamentally transformed the way we work, making remote and hybrid models a global norm. So to say, as organizations now are navigating the return to office phase, the real challenge is no longer, logistical. I think it's more cultural. So with that, today's conversation will explore how can we move the return to office narrative, from a top-down mandate to a shared mindset, where employees really choose to come to office because they value, the connection and the experience, and also the purpose is known. Few months back, I'm sure most of you listening to us here would have heard this news from leaders like Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy and L&T chairman S.N. Subramaniam, who have reignited the debate on work culture and calling for long work weeks, right? 70 hours and 90 hours work week was something which was shared by them, and that raised a lot of questions and concerns. And this raises an important question for us in post-pandemic world, where we're talking about valuing flexibility, well-being, mental well-being, and work-life balance. How do we balance performance expectation with human sustainability? So, welcome everyone, and Andy and Piyush, thank you so much. With this context setting and framing, I would like to start with our discussion. And my first question for our exploration for today is, how do we shift the conversation from, you must come to office as a mandate, to we choose to come and create value together? Andy, would you like to start?
Yeah, Smita, this is a wonderful question. The point is here, from my perspective as a coach, in former time, I was 20 years in leadership positions, how to communicate. And I would always start with a why. Why is our office now the most important place? It's a place of bonding, social connection. And an office is not a space where people should feel they have to go there. It is a place where the people want to go there. And coaching can support that. And from the mindset perspective is, what is the value of this office, of this space here? And for me, it starts with a social connection.
Yeah. Okay, so if you'll ask me this question, then I will take it a little bit differently, because when we talk about coming back to office or reducing home office, then first we also have to see that what kind of employees we have and how it is going to impact them and their job, what kind of job is there. Correct. And first is this thing which is related to their work, and other thing is that the mandate or the new policy or the new rule which is decided by the organization. Okay, so the role of leadership will be that how we can adopt the rule or the new policy by keeping the interest of our employees within the organization, because both parts are equal for us. Correct. On management level or the leadership level, because if anyone is disbalanced, our whole work or our whole universe will collapse. So, but the main work where we have to give our focus, it is related to our employees or the workforce which is there. So as Andy suggested or said, same way I will also like to say that we have to communicate with the people. We have to clarify the intentions, what are there from the organization, and why this sudden change, or what is the need of the business to adopt this or choosing this option. Because it's not like that someone suddenly thought that, okay, from tomorrow, everyone will come to office. There should be some kind of deep thought, and something was lacking behind. An organization was not able to achieve. Definitely, there are a lot of augmentation that, okay, I can do my job from anywhere, my work support it. That is one thing. But the other thing is that what is happening in the market, what is the circle of our organization, how our competitors are doing. So there are a number of things which impact such decisions. And when we have to talk with employees or our workforce, we have to explain them that it is just not a random decision. There is a thoughtfulness behind it. And we should be able to explain it to the employees. But again, this start with how or what kind of communication channel which we follow. So there should be a proper strategy. I think in next questions we will take care of those things, but there should be a proper communication alignment, then the things will definitely work.
Mm.
Yeah.
So absolutely, thank you, Piyush. And Andy said a beautiful thing, which is about the why should be very clearly identified and also shared. And so not just that we know the why, but we are also sharing the why when we say that it's not like a mandate, but it is with a purpose
Yeah.
and communication. And what you say is like purely about not just like a one size fits all kind of an approach, but kind of understanding the need of the business while also seeing what is around happening
Yeah.
in competition to be applying. So I'm
Yeah.
curious here, with both the sharings that Piyush, you and Andy did, how do you see, I know you are not a credential coach, but you are leader, in the coaching space. So what role do you really see coaching playing a role? What's the role of coaching in this shift that you want to bring from mandate to mindset? So what is your experience there?
From my point of view, it is so, Smita, it starts with a listening. Piyush said already, everyone is different. We need approach, not one size fits all. We need to really listen to every individual. And their coaching can play an important role. Because by active listening to the individual situations, maybe someone is family father. He needs to find a way how to deal with the family now, who is picking up the kids from the kindergarten, who is taking them to the school or whatever.
Yeah.
The next one is maybe having an issue that, I don't know, food intolerances. Maybe he needs the right food at the workplace. I have no clue what the individual situation is, but coaching can support you a lot by listening and to really hear the people.
Yeah, that's true. So there are a number of examples like Andy mentioned, I have also faced, and I'm also dealing with those kind of situation on regular basis. But here a major challenge is like mindset, because what is happening nowadays after this thing which was there after corona, everyone have set their mindset that this is our right, and if someone is not giving us, then we have to behave in a different way. But if someone is doing like this, then we have to talk with him, understand his problems, and explain him the things. And the real world problem I will explain you, I think a lot of people can relate with that. So there are two kind of generation for this home office scenario: the generation who was already started working before corona, and the generation which started their career after corona. So the generation which is there after corona, they think that home office is a regular thing, and if something is or someone is not doing this, then someone is trying to snatch something from them which is their right, and then their behavior change. So we also have to explain them that, look, we can understand your scenario, you have never seen that situation before, but but this is not the solution which was adopted during the corona. That was the step stopgap solution for that period, and now we have overcome that situation, and we have came very far from that situation. Then also we have to explain that, as I mentioned earlier as well, that we have to talk with them, we have to understand their problems, and we have to show them basically the reality. Because when we talk about Gen Z, they have different kind of mindset, different type of understanding. But when we will show them the reality or explain them or try to mold out our solution which fits to them and also fits to us, then those situation can be overcome. So that is my real world example what I I shared with you just now.
Yeah.
And the
No,
coaching
absolutely.
here, Piyush, can give also a value because you could
Yeah.
use your complete, let's say, team in one coaching session and bring the different concerns or ideas from the team members up
Yeah.
and to work out the benefit of being together in the office again. Because
Yeah.
for this Gen Z who was never in the office, maybe it's important to get an idea what is the benefit when I'm meeting my colleagues every day.
Correct. Correct.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
no,
is
thank you so much, Piyush, for sharing that example of the difference in the generations and how the new normal has become, and people are seeing this as a normal versus working from office that is seen more as a exception. Um, as we move on in the conversation, like, when we think about return to office, like, what are some of the biggest assumptions or beliefs you became aware of? Like we were talking earlier about logistical and cultural, but what is your experience of the assumptions or belief you became aware of return to office?
okay. I will share this first. So, before implementing extensive work from office, we were in a hybrid mode.
Mm-hmm.
So till that time, everything was fine. No issue was there in the office, in the logistic, as you mentioned, and infrastructure, everything. There was nothing. But when this came into the picture, we started receiving a lot of complaints, a lot of different expectations. But it's not like that the things are new. It was there since so many years, but it is coming because people have to show resistance, so they can't tell directly that I don't want to follow, so they come with different reasons, and they say that due to this reason, how can I come and how can I comply to this. But again, as we are discussing, we have to talk, we have to explain, we have to understand, then coaching mindset also is there. So these are some real life examples what I'm facing, and basically it is running around that, and people become. And also one more thing I just suddenly came into my mind. So it is also a curve. So when we start something new, people start to resist things, but once the time goes, they also understand, means majority will understand why it is necessary, why it is there, why it is required. Then by the end of the curve, you will see only 20% of people who are still resisting that, or who are still complaining that. So we have to focus on particular those minds who are really resisting this. It may be possible that they have some genuine issues, then we have to understand from them what are the problems, and then further talking and understanding and those things. But as a leader, we have to understand what is the curve and how it is means how the team is adopting this change and all those things. And we have to constantly monitor these things, because if you are running a organization or a department, or you have a team and you are a leader of that team, if you will not monitor those things and you will not understand the different kind of mindset and different kind of behaviors, then things can go really very bad situation. So as also earlier I had said, we have different kind of people, then different kind of reasoning as well, while explaining to them that which suits to their behavior and mindset. So those things needs to be added when we are in that situation, basically.
Mm. So, empathetic leadership, it's not new. It was always, leaders are always expected to be empathetic. But now, so with all of, things happening around globally and otherwise, it is the expectation from leaders is more needed now to be empathetic. And when
Yeah.
you share this, Piyush, it is like, I feel the role of leadership is so expanded that, you really need that patience, you really need that
Yeah.
empathy to show up each time, every
Yeah.
time when you are having that conversation, because when you have to understand the need of the other, when you say, right, like genuine, there will be some cases which are genuine, and how do you know when 3-4 people are giving you excuses of not showing up? Then how do you suss out as to what is genuine there and what is not?
Yeah, that's correct. And also, I have observed during these scenarios, some peoples are adopting or accepting this change because they relate themselves with the organization, and they really think that they can contribute in the growth of organization. So it is related to the belongingness with the organization. So this is also required for a leader, that what kind of environment he is building in his organization, that people should feel the belongingness. And if it is there, then accepting the change will be difficult, but it will not be impossible, because people will understand their role and their requirement from the organization. So this is the thing from my side on this.
Yeah. No, very organically you moved into, I was just going into that question saying, while we are constantly talking about listening and communication to be, really increased and be there every time at all levels. But what are the other systemic levers you focus on so that you have more engaged team? You were talking about that 20% who shows resistance, but what are those systemic levers that we take that deliberate effort to kind of make it like a focus for us to engage people?
So basically, then if we have to call a lot of peoples to the office, then we have to do something extra. So maybe we can have some kind of celebration, then monthly birthday parties or some gamification of few things. And we can also, to encourage this new policy, we can also connect this with some kind of uh, prize or something, that if someone will come this much percent of days in the office, then he is entitled for this gift or something like that. So some kind of motivation will be there. It is small thing, but it plays in your mind. People really look forward for those small things. Everything should not be big or very humongous, but small things makes things possible, what I can say right now. So we also have to take involvement of different departments in the organization who can support us, because there are so many things which related to other departments as well, and they can also contribute in this. So we have to leverage those departments and also uh, collaborate with them, because we have to adopt a new thing, correct, in organization. And when we are doing some change, then we have to take support from others if something is missing in between, because this policy is not for one part of organization, it is for everyone in the organization.
Okay, so starting something new to bind people together and give them a reason to show up at work.
Yeah.
Andy, anything do you want to add here?
Yes, Piyush mentioned the word change quite often. So return to office is a huge change. I give you an experience I made some years ago. I think Piyush the same. When we had the opposite situation to send everyone home. Because we had an established culture working in office, everyone was daily there. We had team bondings, we had team events, we had so many things we did together. And finally, we had the situation with the pandemic that we had to send the people more or less immediately home. And what experience I made in that time? Missing equipment. So that means everyone needed somehow a technical equipment to be able to work at home. We need to establish new software. We need to establish a new tools. And I guess it's now the same vice versa. When we now send everyone back to office, we need also to verify, is everyone able to work at office in a good quality? Is he able to spend valuable time with the colleagues, with the co-workers? Is he creating this relationship building inside the company intentionality, because it is a lot of effort. I know from Pune, when I was living there, that some of my coworkers drove 1.5 hours in the morning to arrive at the office. So what is the return? And that is what we need to work on. This change needs to have a value, and we can create this value. And coaching can support in a lot of ways. Like Piyush said, we need every support needed to make it really happen. And we already mentioned it, listening to the people to really get an understanding what is their point of concern. So where comes the resistance from? And on the other side, to work out the value, the benefits, and to work together in a team, not as an individual contributor, is a huge experience. And this is something worth to really work on.
Yeah.
So both your sharing makes me to feel that HR role is really is increasing, and two eyes is not not enough. They need to have more number of eyes to be watching what's happening and what is the need of the system. So when I'm talking about these systemic levers, one thing which constantly comes to my awareness is about psychological safety. So psychological safety, of course, that is something, a lever which all of us know the importance of a safe environment for one to be productive, for one to work in a space where good hormones are generating for us, that for them, for their growth and for the growth of the organization. But what is what does now psychological safety would mean for for this return to office kind of a culture that we want to create? I mean, any thoughts there?
In the end, how I see it is that return to office is somehow a social capital investment strategy. And what does it mean? When you have a deficit of a shared context and emotional resonance, to build up now this psychological safety is a hell of a work. It's not easy to do that. But in the end, we need to give these people some way of expressing themselves, but in a safe space. For example, they can make some, like Piyush said, celebrations together, where the people come together, where they are also enjoying the moment together. It's not sitting side by side, silent on the table, not to have a lot of contact. It's vice versa. And I remember a lot of times in the offices where we had a late afternoon, a lot of meetings behind us, and one of us said, let's go for a coffee. Then we were standing up, we're gathering around the coffee machine, had maybe 10, 15 minutes, a good talk, sometimes about work, sometimes about the private time, but nevertheless, it was a value add. Your mind was calming down, you were on different thoughts, and then you had new energy, new motivation, and you can use it. It's a spirit.
Correct. Yeah. So most of the things we have talked about this thing, but when you specifically talk about psychological safety, I will say we should talk about psychological boost, because if someone is coming office, then he really thinks that he is safe, even related to his work, or he can think that everyone is safe in his home, or wherever his parents or family are there, they are safe. And the same time, he should also feel safe. That's what I think you want to ask. So I think no one will join an organization where they can't feel safe. Correct. And when we do a complete process of any employee for onboarding, when he thinks that this organization is suitable, then only he joins. But if something is changed in between, like this corona and then pandemic and then different policies related to home office, then it's a kind of again a new process which we can say like rebuilding of psychological safety. So the thing was there previously, in between it lost or it is reduced, but now we have to regain again. So we have to think that in between what we have lost. So what we have lost, we lost connection, we lost talks, we lost coffee breaks, we lost together walking after the lunch. So when they will get back, when they will again come to office, and when they will see all these things are happening. So we have to make a environment in organization that these things can again can start easily without of any hesitation. So leader, if leader is seeing that these things are not happening, then he should do this first, and he should start. He should take someone, okay, let's go have a coffee, let's go for lunch together today. So if leader is able to showcase that, okay, you are safe. Safe means mentally safe, not physically. Yeah. So others will also follow that, because the to the person whom you have asked tomorrow, he will ask another person tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and then it will become a chain. And once the chain is started, then it will end till the last person. So these are the few ways by which we can achieve this thing.
And what I would like to add here, Piyush, is also something I observe when people work in the same office together. It's helping each other
Yeah, that's correct.
because they are much closer to each other. They see the other one. They see if he has, I don't know, an angry face, or if he is somehow struggling with a computer or whatever. It is so much easier to really help each other. That
Yeah.
can also create a good loop upwards.
Yeah, that's correct.
I love the word psychological boost, Piyush. Andy's, that banner, the company name, boost your growth, right there. Wonderful. So for the participants, I have a question, and I'm putting this on the chat box. What is your biggest challenge or discomfort about returning to office? What has been your observation? Like, if you're going to office, or if you're seeing someone in your network struggling, please do share here in the chat box. We would love to hear your thoughts as well. And if you have any questions or any comment, please do use the chat box to share. Piyush, when you were talking about the psychological boost, I was just reminded of a conversation I had with a leader who is not a coach. I mean, they are in the organization, and who understands the importance of coaching in the space of leadership. And they were saying that like these water cooler moments where they get an opportunity, and you said about coffee conversations while you go on a walk after lunch. Those are the conversations which this leader was talking about, as to how they value when they talk to their boss, and the boss is during a cup of coffee break or water break. They share a problem, and they get a question instead of a solution, and how much they value that question.
Yeah.
Those are the things which when we are totally work from home, then we kind of sit with our problems. We don't know who to share with. Maybe we can just talk to our family, or and it would be very one-sided, right? Like it'll be more
Yeah.
venting out, and immediately from family we may just get into they may empathize, and not empathize, really sympathize, and then really give us like a solution. Instead, in the work environment where a culture of questions can be enabled, it can be valued, seeing that wow, I had a problem, and I was given a wonderful question to think about. Yeah. So that sharing by that leader really stayed with me, and I thought, okay, this is a very good point when you're convincing your people to come back to work and work from home.
Yeah. And sometimes what happens, Mita, if suppose someone is having some question, so during that conversation, without of asking question or someone is giving answer, he automatically gets answer just by conversation. He is not asking his question, but he is getting his answer. So it is really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. Just by providing that space of listening,
Yeah.
you just help the person to find their own solution. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Can we move on? Participants, feel free to put your answer here. What do you think as your biggest challenge or discomfort? Moving on, this is again, we spoke about, any change in the system cannot be, driven by just that top-down kind of an approach, but rather, kind of co-create. So how can leaders, coaches co-create this return to office practices with their teams so that it becomes an opportunity for culture evolution rather than, just being like a directional thing?
Okay, so maybe I can start. So first of all, leader should understand that why this change is there, because he should be clear first on this. If he is not clear, then he can't convince others to follow that change. So first, leader should be clear on this topic more than 100%. You should be clear 101%.
Like the why that Andy was talking about.
Yeah. And then his first job is that he should explain and he should expect the same from his first line, because he can't go towards each person or each employee in the organization. So he should make aware and understand his first line, and then he should give this task to those first line guys to explain to their teams. So by this, what is happening, he is able to transmit the message, and secondly, he is also able to understand how is his first line behaving or how they are showing their leadership skills. So it's a win-win situation for leader when he is giving this task, because by this, what will happen, they will be able to share the message in a very good way to their teams. And sometime what will happen, that some leaders will come towards, means this first line leaders will come, no, I'm not able to explain, people not understanding me, what should I tell, this was the question, this was the reason, I don't know what to give answer. So by this, you will also understand what kind of team is that, what kind of leadership is there in that team. So based on that, you can take various preventive actions for different things in the organization. But then what will be the next step for leader? If they are not able to understand, they can have a kind of town hall meeting or all hands meeting like that, and where he can explain the things to each and every employee, that this is the reason, this is the thought process behind it, and if we are doing this, then these are the benefits to us. And then there will be few questions in that town hall meeting. But I think if a leader is aware and he knows why this change is there, then he will be able to give the answer to each and every question. But the other thing will be like, there will be few guys who will ask something personal, that I have this thing or that thing, that dependency. So those things we can park, because those things will be like private discussions, because we don't know what is the situation with those guys or particular that person. So we have to take care it later, because that will need maybe different understanding, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Piyush, I heard you saying that starting with the alignment in the management, in the end to transfer the why from the top to the lower management levels.
Yeah.
You talked about a town hall meeting to really inform by the management everyone in the team or in the teams. I would like to add one thing more we could really do in this work, really then bring everyone on the same page. Like individuals, our team also individual. For example, you could run team workshops with the title, How Does a Perfect Working Week Look Like?
Yeah.
So in the end, really to use it as a title to work with everyone, a concept out. What does it require? Because we talked also in the vice versa when we send everyone home on the infrastructures, IT systems, equipment. But now when we do it so that everyone is now in the same place, we need also to see what else is required now. The time has changed. People have a different expectation.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
And then,
such a powerful, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
no, Smita, please.
Yeah, I was just acknowledging that, this point about the co-creation by increasing awareness, like really about, with this topic. And it's not like individual awareness by doing a workshop, it's like the collective awareness that we work together, and that too to serve the need of the, organizational needs. So I was acknowledging you for making this point.
And the next step you could do is, Piyush, you could run, for example, a pilot. So whatever you get out of this workshop, really use it. Show the people that you take care, that everything was worked out, is not forgotten. It's really implemented. Then you run maybe a 1-month pilot to see how this new approach will work out for this individual team. And then you said a lot of time we should explain. Turn it around. You should ask what is really now the last step missing, that the people feel good when they come to office.
Yeah.
More listening.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, some of these things as more like a top down, right? Like this cannot be bottom up. And when it is about top down, the for the management, for the top management to be really understanding the why very well. I mean, I may have worked in another organization, and if I want to just apply that logic and reason to this system, that may not work. But
It will not
am
work.
I totally aligned with the why of this system? So, yeah.
And Smita, your point of the why is opening a different thought as well. It's about the values. What values are here involved? What is the value of the return to office now? What do we follow? Values can connect people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, gone are the days where values and all of that can just be in one policy document and present on our website. But then how can we really live those values? And constantly when I hear from both of you about, communication and listening, then how do we really, make that effort to translate all these values into real living those values and not just on paper?
Yeah.
So Piyush, just curious, like any of your, the company values of Bros, does it have anything uh, which kind of will make them to see the shared value or the shared goal or something which binds them, like a connection or a collaboration or something like that as a value?
Yeah. So we have a first principle in our organization. And when we specifically talk about the employees, so our main focus or main thing is in that related to employees, that we consider each employee as our family. Correct. And when we are in family, then we have to give trust and respect on the same level as we are doing in our family. So the bases are related to this. And when we talk about family, then all aspects come into the picture. Someone is happy, someone is a little bit angry, but at the end, we are a family. And we have to, at the end, work together and grow together. So that family mindset should be there in the organization as well when we are working for a common goal, I will say. Because at the end, everyone wants their growth, and their growth will come once the organization growth is there. So the both things are connected, and the both parties have to understand each other if the goal should be achieved. So that is the one of the principle I will say.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So for the participants, I have another question since we are discussing of, what could we do as a team or as a team lead. A question for the audience is, as a team, what's one new norm or practice you could co-design to make return not just physical presence but purposeful collaboration? Feel free to share your thoughts here on the chat box, or if you want to reflect on it and share later with us, that's fine too. Moving on, so Andy and Piyush, we keep talking about some of these best practices that we would want to start looking now that we're really facing the challenge of few wanting to work from home and few wanting to work from office. So, how can leaders as coaches, build and sustain? You mentioned the word trust. So, trust in hybrid and return to office environments. And you gave some examples, but I'm just asking this question just to see if there are any more effective, ways or techniques in which the sustainability can be worked on.
Yeah. So as I talked about trust, so trust is the thing which is not visible. It is inside our mind or in heart. But the thing which can be visible, we have to continuous communicate with the guys, correct? In the office, in the team, we should give them regular updates, regular information, what is happening around, what is the new update related to organization, or what is the new thing which is happening. So once the communication, clear communication is there with the team or with the within the organization, the people will not feel missed out or left out. They will feel the belongingness. So key is continuous communication, that too in a way that everyone should be able to understand, and in return they should be also able to ask some questions if there is any doubt related to any point, because it should not be one way communication, correct? And when we are open, then the things are really fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the same time, we also have to see that even after doing these efforts, people are not getting open up, they are not talking, they are not speaking. So again, we have to do a kind of investigation or introspection, what is missing, what still need an improvement. So again, we have to work on this topic, because leadership is a kind, every day you learn something, correct? Not a single day is there where I haven't learned so far. So every day I'm learning a new thing which I haven't faced so far in the life. And that is also my motto in life, that just learn everything, whatever is coming. So if you are learning continuously and adopting based on that learning, you will definitely see the changes which you want.
Mm-hmm. So not just communicate like once in a while, but make it very consistent and also
Yeah.
agile and being resilient. So,
Yeah.
constantly learn
Yeah.
from.
Even kind of small talks, like if you are going or walking on the floor, just stay on some workstation in front of employee. Okay, what you're doing, can you show me? Then you can say, oh wow, I haven't know that this is very amazing work what you're doing. So appreciate people what they're doing, because this is good thing what they're doing. So these are small things which a leader can do to improve or to enhance the feeling in the organization.
Mm. Yeah, I love how beautifully, both of you are like, they're taking as a big picture thinking, then really narrowing down, making it to micro level, what can be done with these, short impromptu kind of conversation. So amazing, Piyush, amazing to hear that you're really wanting to increase your touch points with people, right? Rather than just keeping it on email or phone calls and stuff like that, but walking to workstations to check on them, to appreciate them for the work. That's quite commendable. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Andy, anything from you?
Yes, the key brought now Piyush on the table. Visibility. When people are now in the office again working, after the long time maybe working from home, their results, their work is finally now more visible. And when it comes to the appraisals, annual evaluations, managers working really in touch with, connect to their team members, will have a much better overview who is really for the next level ready. And this is a huge opportunity to use this visibility to really show what I'm capable for. And like Piyush said, the openness from the management is required to really look for the connect. Don't lose the opportunity.
Yeah. And also other thing for leaders, if they will be able to see the people, then only they will understand that what is his potential. And based on that understanding, as Andy mentioned, we can promote them or we can suggest them that, okay, this way is good for you. So if that visibility is not there, it just work related talk. Okay, complete this task. Yes, I'm done with that. Okay, good job. Bye. Call is done. Then next day, same thing. So it will not give that fun in the work. So that's why that visibility is really needed.
Like in coaching we say, right, like it's not just through verbal, it's not just verbal communication, there is non-verbal as well, and you can read the body language. And earlier Andy was saying about, maybe the struggles that they're going through, or all of that can be known better when it is in person. You can make only that much when on a phone call and stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, and this question I'm just saying as a wrap up question for us, as we are just coming, to the end of our, just coming closer to the end of our conversation. In order for organizations to create, an environment where people can feel that there is value, to go there. And Andy's example of 1.5 hours travel, and Piyush, when you just mentioned that, you just came to this webinar after the 1.5 hours of travel on road. What can be that one value? We discussed multiple things, but I'm saying, like, for us to immediately implement, maybe just as one practical tip from you, being a business leader, and Andy, for you to be a business leader, and now something, you're experiencing maybe many organizations, and the culture of many organizations. So what is that one practical tip, if you can share that?
If you agree, Piyush, I would answer first.
Yeah.
From my point of view, it starts with a respect. Respect to each and everyone in the organization. When they come to office after 1 hour, 1.5 hours, doesn't matter. It starts with a respect. So they need their workplace, they need everything on place, so they really can feel well. And like this coffee breaks we discussed, or going together for the lunch, returning back to have a site for chit chat, this is absolutely amazing. And that really can change a lot.
Yeah.
So if anybody working in the organization is listening, just see if you can, if it's not happening in your organization, just see if you can, be that initiator for those, small breaks and conversations which are like impromptu. Thank you.
So if you want to have this same thing from my side, so I would say respect is the first point. I will also agree, Andy. But the second thing is that it should not be a fearful respect, because what happens sometimes we have started mandate that, okay, this is changed now. Today or after a few days, we have to do, or we have to come to office. And people will start coming or following the new rule. But it should not be a fearful respect, because if a fear is there within the team or within the employees, it will be a big problem for the future. So as a leader, we also have to see that it is a legit respect, correct? It may be feel something else when I'm talking, but this is reality, what happens in so many places, what I have seen. So we also have to be able to determine that what is the correct type of respect which is there. And the other thing is that trust, because if someone is respecting you, then you also give back him the trust, that a leader is trusting on his workforce or his employees or his teammates or colleagues. So because that, if the trust will not be there, then that respect will also not sustain for long, correct? So two main thing, first is respect and the second thing is trust. And I think this is applicable for each and every scenario and situation. That is my answer for this.
Thank you, Piyush. I would like to only to add one word to that. What you're describing is building up a culture
Yeah,
where the people feel exactly welcome and appreciated.
yeah.
Beautiful. So, these two as levers, we were talking about earlier, the systemic levers, and Andy and Piyush, you're talking about respect and safety. And Piyush, I would add your word there, which is about psychological boost. That is my takeaway from this webinar today. So thank you so much, Andy and Piyush. We are just on time. And thank you, audience, for being here and listening to the great examples, Andy and Piyush, that you brought to the table today. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. See you
Thank you.
on our next
Thank
webinar.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.